All right, let's talk about the T4 slip. So we just talked about pay stubs. Let's talk about the T4 slip. So a T4 is a statement of remuneration paid. Okay, so it's a big word, remuneration. So it's basically, you know, the payment for your work services. Okay, for your service, this is the number, the dollar value amount that you've been paid in total. For different parts, different information for your income tax return, your job gives you a statement of all remuneration paid. It's usually referred to as a T4 slip. It's an important document that your employer gives you. Your T4 slip shows information about your employment income and payroll deductions. So your pay stub is sort of a monthly or bi-weekly, however often you get paid. It's a record of a specific pay period. The T4 is an official record that qualifies for the calendar year. Okay, and this is the important information that you will need specifically for your income tax return when you file your taxes, or when you your annual report to the government of what you've earned and what you've paid, so that you could possibly get some of that income tax that was taken off your check, so that possibly you can get some of that back. So you'll use a slip when you do your taxes. Okay, payroll deductions. Amounts that your employer takes off of your pay. That's what a deduction is. Generally it includes, well, we just talked about this in the previous notes there, income tax, Canada Pension Plan, if you're in Quebec, the Quebec Pension Plan, employment insurance, and there are maybe other things on there too, like private health pension plans or health insurance or whatever. So the calendar year is from January 1st to December 31st, and that's what you use for income tax purposes. So you file your taxes, or you tell the government, give them a record of what you've earned and all that, and what you've paid in fees and deductions from January 1st to December 31st of a given calendar year. So in school, our school year goes from September to June, right? So that's why it's important to know when you're doing your taxes, it's from January 1st to December 31st. So just one number year, 2024, 2027, 2030, whatever it is. Your tax slips are issued based on the province or territory where you work. If you compare your last pay stub received for the year to your T4 slip, you should see that the year-to-date amounts on the pay stub should match the amounts on your T4 slip. So we will take a look at this. We'll take a look at this closer in a few minutes. But one of the things that you would see on your pay stub is a YTD, or year to date. That's what you've been paid this calendar year so far. That usually shows up on your pay stub. And the very last one for December will have your whole year. And that should be the same as the T4 slip that will come. So if you notice any difference, you should speak with your employer to get the correct information before contacting CRA. And it happens. All right, example. Comparing your T4 to your last pay stub. Jonah quit his job at the local bakery at the end of July last year. His T4 looks similar to his last pay stub received, because that was the last that he made. And of course, the YTD on his last paycheck should be all that he earned that year. All right, so we kind of saw, I think in that little video that we just watched in the last lesson, well, I guess this is, yeah, it looks very, very similar to this. This is the current period, so this would be like a pay stub. Yeah, this is the T4, that's the T4 here. So let's just compare the pay stub, which we saw in this last little video that we watched. This is it. You see your basic pay, okay, it'll be titled, here's the number of hours, here's your rate that you earned, and so that's the total amount that you earned. That's called your gross pay. So that is the pay that you earned in total before any deductions. The deductions will have a separate category. They will be listed here, and the amounts for each deduction will be beside it, in the column beside it. And then you will also have a year to date, so you can see what you've paid in income tax for the entire year up to that point, and so on. So if this was a December pay stub, then the year to date should match all the totals that you'll see in a T4. Okay, so that's a pay stub. Here is a T4. I'll try and get a lot of this in. I believe, is this in your notes too? Yeah, you can see this in your notes. It might be a little bit blurry because I had to, yeah, you should be able to read actually that pretty well. So here's the T4 statement of remuneration paid. It looks just like this with all these crazy little boxes. These boxes, the numbers here actually are very important, because when you file your taxes, your tax return, it will say put the number in box 14 of your T4 slip, the first T4 slip that you've got. Okay, so you look for box 14, okay, 18,000, that's what you put. That is your employment income. That's what you made all year. And notice that that is the year-to-date right here, all year, 18,000. That's what it'll say right there. The CPP contributions, when you're filing your taxes, the form you fill out will say number in box 16. And you go to 16 and you say, okay, I put this number in. Now notice here, this is a bit funny, but there's no decimal point on a lot of T4s like this. It's usually just a line. So this is the dollars and these are the cents. So that's, this is $18,000.00. This is $870.90, so on. Okay. The income tax deducted, you'll see that. You will see some boxes that are not filled in. Why? Because this would be a box of your Quebec pension plan contributions. Well, if you don't live in Quebec, you shouldn't have made any, right? So that should be blank, and so on. There will be other things. EI insurable earnings, okay, the EI premiums that you ended up paying, and so on. So this is all your yearly union dues. You can get some tax credit for paying, union dues and different things. Your name will be in here, last name, first name. Your address will be in here, and so on. Or employee. Your employer will be listed here. And you should get a T4 slip for every job that you worked at. It should be sent to you, I believe it's by February of each year, so that you can file your taxes before the end of April. In Canada, it's the end of April. As you may or may not know, I went to university in the States, and when I was down there, I found out that my birthday, which is April 15th, was tax day down there. So I say, we'll never forget your birthday. That's tax day. I'm like, oh, okay. It's not tax day up in Canada. Tax day would be the day that your taxes are due. That would be the end of the month, April 30th. So it's a little different, sir. All right. So other information. Now, you will see at the bottom of your T4s, you may have another number here. And I don't believe we have the information that's would be on the back of this. But it could be for a separate payment. So box number 85 on the back, you'll have a whole bunch, hundreds of other possible information that could go on the T4. And so this would be something that's specific to this company. Okay, it'd be like the tech upgrade premium or whatever for your computer that you used at work. I don't know. And you might be able to get a tax deduction for paying that for your work. Okay. And again, tax deduction, remember what tax deductions are. The government has taken money from your paycheck already. You haven't even seen it yet. And you are telling the government, hey, listen, I did this, I gave to charity, I paid these fees and premiums, union dues, blah, blah, blah. I paid this tax, I donated here, this and that. And so once you tell them all that you've done, they'll say, yes, you can earn some of this tax money that we took, you can earn that back. You've earned that back, we're gonna give it back to you. And so all this little stuff counts, it all adds up, and the government will say, yes, you contributed to society in other ways, so that you can have some of this back. Okay? All right, let's keep going. The rest of the notes on your paper there. The T4 slip is one of the most common documents that you will use when completing your income tax and benefit return. The slip is important because it provides a history of your employment earnings for the calendar year, which is the same as the tax year printed on the return. You will use this information found on your T4 slip or slips in different calculations when completing your return. So again, as I mentioned, you should get a T4 slip from every employer that you work for throughout the year, so you may get more than one if you worked at different jobs. Your employer has to send you a T4 slip by the end of February following the year in which you worked for them. You may receive a digital or a physical copy, but both will show the same information. If you have an online account with your employer, you may be able to view your T4 slip online. Protect yourself. Keep your T4 slips in a safe place. They contain personal information like your social insurance number, also your full name and address and how much money you made and all that sort of stuff. If you had multiple jobs in the year, you'll receive a T4 slip from each of your employers. It's important that you remember who you have worked for so that you don't forget to report even a small income. Your employer must also send a copy of your T4 slip to the CRA. That's the Canada Revenue Agency, if you recall. This means you can access your T4 slips through My Account. So that's the online account that you can create through CRA. If you are registered for that CRA service, you will be able to register for CRA account after you have sent the CRA your first completed income tax and benefit return. So this is something that you should know. When you're 18, you'll want to file your taxes. You can, I think you can maybe do it before 18. I don't know. I'm not really sure. If you can, I think you can. As soon as you start working, I think you can. When you're 18 and you have to start filing your taxes, you have to do a paper copy first. You can use the online tax technology. Like I use an online program. I think I use TurboTax. And so it's really nice and easy, actually. It makes it quite a bit simpler. It walks you through, it asks you questions, it tells you exactly where to look on which slip and put this number from this box in there and blah, blah, blah. It's really nice and easy. But if you're doing it for the first time, like my adult children, when they did it for the first time, we had to print out all of those forms. Can somebody grab that door, please? It's a little loud out there. Somebody grab that door for us. Thank you, Brandon. So when you're 18 and when you fill out your taxes for the first time, you can't do digital stuff. You can't do net file. You can't submit digitally. You won't be able to get a CRA My Account. The first time you have to do it, you have to do all the paper stuff and print it out and sign it and copies and send it to, I think, Winnipeg for us. Send it to Winnipeg Tax Center. And you have to do it by paper first, and everything is by paper. And then you will be able to net file if you wish, which is quite a bit easier than printing out and sending in a package with a stamp and everything. All right, so you could do that after you filed your first one on paper. My Account is the CRA's secure online portal for individuals to view and manage their personal income tax and benefit information. You must have filed your taxes at least once before you can register for this service, okay? So there's information, and they send you messages too, which you should make sure you check your messages on My Account, which I didn't one year, and I was getting messages that there was like some problem with my taxes, and I didn't see it for months. And I'm like, boy, I finally found out that seemed like CRA was really upset with me. I'm like, what's going on? Like, oh, I missed something. Oh, or something happened. I can't remember what it was, but it was some little thing. Like, we've sent you notices. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm busy guy. I don't know. I don't check my CRA account very often. So, yeah, so they'll send you messages there and, yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so is that the end of your notes then? Last page? Okay, awesome. That's T4 slip. Any questions about a T4 slip or pay stubs, what we covered today? Any specific questions there? Oh, okay. What I would like you to do to prepare for, let's see, the next thing we're going to be doing is, we're going to be doing taxes in First Nations. That's what we're going to be doing next. But since we're talking about T4 slips, filing taxes and that, I am going to ask you, notice that we have a section here coming up, personal income tax. Part of that section is to have you explore different tax submission or tax software. So for the remaining time of class here, what I'd like you to do is to research that. All right, so what I'm going to get you to do is to research online tax software, examples such as TurboTax, Wealthsimple, etc., like that. Okay, do at least 2 or 3. Compare at least 2 with 4 to 5 comparison points. Choose the one that you use based on those comparison points. So here's some examples I just went through. Let's say you did TurboTax and some online tax software from Wealthsimple. What is the ease of registration? Okay, do you need an email? Do you need email and a phone number? Do you need, I don't know, what do you need from them? Do you need to purchase it? Is it free? Is it free for students, let's say? I don't know. Is there an option to submit your file online digitally? Okay, and so on. Or do you have to print out the forms? So just take a little bit of time, like I say, next 10 minutes of class, and start on this. This is going to be just kind of for your own notes for now. I might get you to hand this in, but just keep this as part of your notes. Yeah, that's what I want you to do, because we've been talking about filing your taxes and the T4 slips and all that sort of stuff, okay? So just start to look up some online tax software.